Get ready for the Too Hot to Sip podcast, your go-to for daily topics, celebrities gossip, and captivating stories. So keep your ears glued to your headphones, cause your host Diana is delivering new episodes weekly with music reviews, news updates, and engaging discussions on dating advice and much more. Subscribe now for exclusive content and wild personal stories for only $0.49 a month. Nothing is off limits here, so share with your friends and family to tune into the Hot to Sip podcast. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for this week's episode.
Well, good morning, you guys. How you guys doing on this weekend? Baby, right now, I think I just went into a crazy rabbit hole last night. And it was regarding the Project 2025. So, you guys, if y'all have not subscribed or follow this podcast, I would advise you to do so. Because why not? It's free. All right? Go ahead. Go on, click that button. Okay? But into better or actually horrific news, depending on how this goes, I was literally scrolling on TikTok because I had posted one of my clips for my last podcast on TikTok, and then I end up just, deadly scrolling on TikTok and whatever. And I don't know what is going on with TikTok, but bitch, why the fuck they always have to scare me and always show me posts of like shit that's about to happen or shit that is going on or whatever, when I was just looking to have a good laugh and giggle. So with that being said, I think I have posted some of them on my Instagram story. So let me put the volume up. Hold on. So this is not it.
Pay attention. It's not a secret. Look it up. They are attacking our most vulnerable citizens. The Project 2025 plan is not a game. Look it up.
That was Taraji P. Henson bringing up Project 2025 on the BET Awards, and God bless her for doing it for a while now. It's felt like it's just been me and a handful of others talking about this. Then she did that, and Google searches for Project 2025 spiked. And now suddenly the media wants to talk about it. You know why they haven't really been talking about it up until this point? You know why Donald Trump wasn't questioned about it during the debate? The argument has been, well, it's not his policies. This is this group, the Heritage Foundation. He has his own policies. Donald Trump's policies is called Project 47. This is what will be implemented if he's reelected. No, it isn't. This is a carnival barker barking. This is Donald Trump saying what he thinks people want to hear, and also whatever he thinks makes him sound profound, like freedom cities. We're going to build new cities, freedom cities, the best cities. No, this is the ramblings of a mad.
So, y'all just heard that, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? Lately, I have been hearing a lot of this Project 25 or 2025. And I don't know nothing about it because, let's say majority of United States people are really focused on like what is going on now. Okay, I am working, but my bills are skyrocketing high. My mortgage or rent is like, bitch, I'm in New York. And people is really just trying to figure out how they're going to live through the next morning, right? So I was like, okay, what the fuck is Project 2025? Like, what is this whole thing about? And like this gentleman said, and I'm just going to rephrase it because he said quite a few things, but the fact that I did not really understand because I did not read upon Project 2025, I didn't really understand too much. But Project 2025 is basically where, if elected, regardless if it's Trump for 2025 or any Republican get into office, there is a handbook of how they want the world to be governed. Not the world, I'm talking about the entire world, but I'm talking about United States, right? So there is this handbook for a Republican president when they become president, okay? These are the things that they need to implement in moving forward. Now, my thing is, you know what, let me keep it to the end, right? Okay. So, like I said, it's basically a rule book of how things are supposed to be governed when a Republican joins the president seat, right? So this morning, because it was literally on my mind all night, as much as I was trying to sleep, but it was in my mind too much, and I just could not understand what the fuck is this thing? Like, why is there so many people really that's not a Republican and that is not a conservative? Why is it such a big deal? Like, why is people like really trying to figure out, okay, bitch, am I going to stay in the United States or am I going to move out this motherfucking country and go to another country? And if you are dark-skinned folks like me, bitch, if we do move out of this country, where the fuck are we going to go? And what country is not going to treat us like outsider, and then on top of that, treat us like we're slaves, right? So I was like, okay, you know what, bitch? I think we need to sit down and share some opinions. I am not into politics like that. I don't know too much about politics. And I think that's a rabbit hole for elite people that can seriously, like, dig deep and really hold a good conversation and kind of, you know, inform folks. But, anywho, I went on Google and I searched what is Project 2025. And, of course, I am going to use Wikipedia. Woo, sorry, y'all. So, what Wikipedia say? Project 2025, also known as the Presidential Transition Project, is a collective of conservatives and right-wing policy proposal from the Heritage Foundation to reshape the United States federal government and consolidate executive power should the Republican Party candidate win the 2024 presidential election. It proposes reclassifying tens of thousands of merit-based federal civil service workers as political appointees in order to replace them with those who will be more willing to enact the wishes of the next Republican president. It asserts that the president has absolute power over executive branch. Critics of Project 2025 have characterized it as an authoritarian, Christian nationalist plan to transform the United States into a autocracy. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Many legal experts have asserted it would undermine the rule of law and the separation of power, the separation of church and state, and civil liberty. Now, I wanted to know what the fuck is the Heritage Foundation. So, of course, you know how they have that link you could click on. So, Wikipedia says, the Heritage Foundation, sometimes referred to simply as Heritage, is an activist American conservative think tank based in Washington, D.C. Founded in 1973, it took a leading role in the conservative movement in the 1980s during the presidency of Ronald Reagan, whose policies were taken from Heritage Foundation studies, including its merit for leadership. The Heritage Foundation has had significant influence in U.S. policy making and has historically been ranked among the most influential public policy organization in the United States in 2010. It founded a sister organization, Heritage Action, an influential activist focus in conservatives and Republican policies. Heritage lead Project 25, an expense plan to reshape federal government and consolidate exclusive power should a Republican be elected president in 2024. So reading that, I feel as if this Heritage Foundation, they've been trying to start this whole plan since 2024, right? And got together and tried to, build it to where it will take in effect in 2025 if a Republican is president. Now, with that being said, it's like they already know a Republican is going to take office in 2025. And I'm not going to lie, it has been several years, I think since Clinton, that the power always alternates, right? It's always like Democrat one year of office, like the 4 years, and then the next 4 years is a Republican. So it always have been this, what is it? Republicans or Democrat? Republican or Democrat? I have yet to see where it has always been Republican, then Democrat. Republican, then Democrat. Or Democrat, Republican. In history. I may be wrong, but since Clinton have been in office, it's always have alternated between Democrat or Republican. So, since Democrat had took the party for the last 4 years, it's like this foundation already know the next person that's going to be in office is literally going to be a Republican. So this is why they are starting this set of rules and regulations, basically, for the Republican president that's going to be in office. And again, let's be honest, presidents don't run shit. Okay? Presidents don't run shit. But what I'm starting to get so far is that for the longest time that I can remember, Republican or this conservative group, I'm not going to even say Republican, this conservative group of people that have more power than the government, and it seemed like this foundation is one of them, right, have been trying to roll over the United States into this one world order, right? The only way they're starting to do this is because it had to be triggered events that happened that will shape and deter our minds for years to come, right? There have been several events that had happened in the past that have literally shaped our minds to where we no longer want to vote. We don't give a fuck what's going on no more, right? Like, bitch, I am trying to survive at this point. So whatever y'all government wants to do, y'all fucking figure that out. I don't give a damn. And, da 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 da. And the only reason this is happening is only because everyone is so selfish in trying to focus on themselves and how they're going to survive. And the fact that all of these trigger events, meaning pandemics, weird diseases, and all these crazy shit that's happening, attacks, wars, and stuff like that, that is literally shaping our mind to not care to vote, because what's going to change? If we're suffering now, we're going to continue to suffer. So y'all do whatever y'all want to do, right? And I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for a foundation like these people to literally implement stuff like this. And this is the first rollout, okay? This is not like, oh, you know, this is just going to be it and that's it. That's the only change. No, y'all have to really pay attention. This is the first rollout of what's going to happen to United States. Now, y'all just need to figure out what y'all want to do in the future, right? So I'm going to continue reading because there's still more to read, and then we'll go ahead and we'll talk more. Okay? So continuing from Project 2025, what it's all about, it jumps into some details of the Heritage Foundation. So the Heritage Foundation president, Kevin Roberts, said in July 2024 that we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless. You hear that? What's on that? If the left allow it to be. Paul Dans, the project director, said in April 2023, the Project 2025 is systematically preparing to march into office and bring a new army, aligned, trained, and essentially weaponized, conservative, ready to do battle against the deep state. What's on that? All right. Dan's acknowledged it was counterintuitive to recircuit so many to join the government to shrink it, but pointed out the need for a future president to regain control of the government. Project 2025 envisioned widespread changes across the government, particularly economic and social policies, and the role of the federal government and its agency. The plan proposes taking partisan control of the Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Department of Commerce, the Federal Communication Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission, dismantling the Department of Homeland Security, and sharply reducing environmental and climate change regulation to favor fossil fuels production. The blueprint seeks to institute tax cut though its writers disagree on the wisdom of protectorism. Project 2025 recommends abolishing the Department of Education, whose program would be either transferred to other agency or terminated. Child, let me stop here because this is very important, you guys. This is very, 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 very important. Listen, the Department of Education is really for colored folk, okay? Let me say this. It's really for people that is not Caucasian, okay? Let me say that, okay? So if you're not Caucasian, pure white, and you are going to, college and all this other stuff, getting these federal grants, not have to pay or whatever, they're talking about y'all, okay? They're talking about y'all. And at this point, If they do so, do you know we are going to go back to when Martin Luther King was around, where Rosa Parks was around? Do y'all understand that? Okay, let's continue. Okay. Funding for climate research would be cut while the National Institute of Health would be reinforced along conservatives' principle. Now, if y'all don't know what that means, it's talking about a lot of stuff. It's talking about abortion. It's talking about Medicaid, Medicare. It's talking about health insurance. It's talking about a lot of stuff, baby. Pay attention, okay? The project seeks to cut funding for Medicaid and Medicare and urges the government to explicitly reject abortion as health care, what I told y'all. The project states that life begins at conception and seek to eliminate coverage of emergency conception under the Affordable Care Act and enforce the Comstock Act to prosecute those who send and receive consecutive and abortion pill nationwide. The project seek to infuse the government with elements of Christianity, removing legal protection against discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity, and terminating diversity, equity, and what else? An inclusion program, as well as affirmative action by instead having the DOJ prosecute anti-white racism. Y'all, did y'all just hear what I said? Did y'all hear what I said? So, they are going to remove, okay, diversity, sexual orientation, gender identity, and inclusion. Do y'all know what that means? That means for y'all black folks, okay, because I want y'all to understand, and I didn't understand, the importance of the law that was created to include diversity. Even though these program was not 100%, great, but it got y'all to a place where y'all was able to come up and do what y'all need to do. Okay? If y'all was rich and wealthy, it made y'all to be so. Right? So if United States removed that, I'm trying to tell y'all, they is trying to bring us back to the days where black people had no say so. Okay? Had no say so. Only white people that are Christian, according to themselves, because God did not deem so, but that are Christian and is conservative to take part into this new role that they're implementing, right? So when I say we are going to literally go back to the days where Martin Luther King, where Rosa Parks and them used to be, we are literally going back. Bitch, I would not be shocked if they start implementing segregation. Okay? I would not be shocked if they implement that again. Because I told you guys, the way that they're going about this, it's by small events that happens, right? Look what happened with this so-called removing abortion. Like at a certain particular week, you cannot have an abortion, right? Look what they're trying to do. And you heard from this statement of, removing abortion completely from United States. No matter where you go in United States, that shit going to be illegal. So that means there are no condoms. So that means there are no birth control pills. And the crazy thing about it is, even though birth control pill does prevent people from having pregnancies, but some birth control pills also helps with certain women like myself that have weird, off, unregular hormones that literally controls our hormones, which cause our period to be normal, so that if we do want to be pregnant, we will be able to be pregnant once we get off the pills. Right? So, now, I'm not done reading. Baby, we got so much to do. We got so much to discuss. But right here is where we should all be scared. One of my friends was like, oh, we should not put fear into it. Yes, we should put fear into it. You know why? It's because everyone that thinks like my friend, and I am not knocking him down, he might have his reason that he did not tell me yet, but it's people that don't have fear that is not going to change or help change the outcome of what is foreseen in the future, right? We should be scared because there are a lot of elderly people that is on Medicaid or Medicare and that needs it because, unfortunately, the pharmacy is a conservative group. It is a Republican group. They are looking to get money, okay? And with that being said, those motherfucking pills that help save people's life but also damage it at the same time is necessary and also madly expensive. Do you hear me? Madly expensive. And for those people that is trying to have kids, you get either, I'm not sure if it's Medicaid. I think it is Medicaid that you get for your child for up to like 1, 2, 3 years old or something like that. Or is it up to when they're 13 or something? I don't know. It's up to a certain age that your kid is still on Medicaid, right? If they remove this, do y'all understand the catastrophic that people with kids, with children, is going to have? If you think having kids is expensive now, imagine when they remove Medicaid and Medicare. Imagine when they do that. If you stand in the hospital for probably 1 or 2 days, giving birth, and your bill is already $30,000 without insurance, imagine. So imagine what is going to happen, like literally, with all of this being removed. Lord Jesus, all I'm saying is, if y'all going to clear out of United States, this year is the year to do so, bitch. Because it's about to go down. Do you hear me? All right, so I'm not done yet. We still got a little bit more to go, okay? A little bit more to go. So it continues to say, the projects recommend that arrest, detention, and deportation of undocumented immigrants living in the United States by using the military to capture and place them in internment camps. The Insurrection Act of 1807 would be used to allow the military to engage in domestic policing and assist capturing undocumented immigrants. It promotes capital punishment. Utande? Capital punishment. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? Let me just tell you, it's death. Okay? Let's go. And the speedy finality of those sentences. Some conservatives and Republicans have criticized the plan for its stance on climate change in foreign trade. Other critics believe Project 2025 is historically window dressing for what would be 4 years of personal vengeance at any cost. The project author also acknowledged that most of the proposal will require the Republican Party to control both the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. Other aspects of the plan have recently been ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court and would face court challenges, while others still are norm-breaking proposals that might survive court challenges. Although the project cannot by law promote a specific presidential candidate, many contributors have close ties to Donald Trump and his 2024 presidential campaign. The Washington Post called the project the most detailed articulation of what a second Trump term would look like. In April 2024, John E. McEntee stated that the Trump campaign and Project 2025 plan to integrate a lot of our work by summer. While the Trump campaign initially said the project aligned well with their Agenda 47 proposal, the project has increasingly caused friction with the Trump campaign, which have generally avoided specific policy proposal that can be used to criticize him. Woo, baby. Do y'all hear that shit? I am terrified of staying here. And you know the crazy thing is, jumping out of subject a little bit, my parents have been pushing me to get married and to have kids. But they are so into this bubble, into this religion of Seventh-day Adventists, where they do not see that the United States is really crumbling under them, okay? And when they used to be in, the earlier years of United States, stuff was, I'm not going to say was easy, but it was much easier for them because it didn't have all these crazy people doing crazy shit, right? So, first of all, let's talk about how our job is not paying enough money to help us support ourselves. And this is mostly the millennials to Gen Z, to ensure that we can purchase our own house and be able to pay it comfortably and have food in the refrigerator. Being able to save money so that we can travel the world and, enjoy our life, or save money because damn near in the future, we're going to retire because, we are getting older. They don't see and they don't understand these things, right? And right now, there is a war that is going among ourselves. Do we see it yet? No, because we are so busy and so tied up of trying to see what celebrities is doing, what they're buying, and etc. And we're not focusing on the bigger picture. What the future is going to look like. What are we going to do? Because at this point, both sides of the political party have a weird agenda for United States. If it's not Democrat pushing to remove themselves from Christianity and allowing the LGBT community to be free and say whatever they do and do whatever they say, and allowing other people to come to this country and remove jobs from the actual citizens here, or providing money to wars that we don't even have money to even be spending and giving, because at this point we're at the trillions where we owe money to several different countries, right? Or it's the damn so-called right Republican that is trying to push this weird agenda of stripping us from our actual freedom, stripping all of the hard work that other people have put in place to protect their people, because these white conservative is only worrying about themselves and the power that they can have onto this world. Because at this point, according to what is her name? I had just listened to her last night. Let me see if I had took the video. Let me see. Hold on, you guys. No way. So no, I don't have the video. God damn it. But anywho, she was basically explaining, it's a white lady, an old white lady. She was basically explaining how the reason why Republicans are doing all of these changes and basically removing certain policy, especially abortion and this and that, whatever, is because some of these white Jewish people, they notice that United States is not majority whites anymore. And the fact that we have so much freedom as a woman to decide whether we want to keep a child, remove a child, do abortion, do whatever we want to do with our bodies. And it's so crazy. You would think it was actually mostly black people doing abortion, but according to her, it's mostly white women that are having abortion. Okay. And what that means to the white people, that means there are not enough white babies being born so that the white people can continue to control the United States, to be the majority of United States and have the power to continue to be on top, right? The Republican is pushing this Christianity, and this sounds so much like slavery. Okay, it sounds just like slavery, baby, where the slave owners, so-called, where there was auctioning off and, purchasing black folks, and they forced their own religion, Christianity, onto black people. Okay, pay attention. Black people, where every motherfucking Sunday they would have the slave people sit down, even though they're beaten, broken, bleeding out, or whatever the case may be, have them sit down in front of their house and they will have church. If I tell you that does not sound similar to what is going on with this Republican, it sounds exactly the same, where they are trying to push Christianity on everyone, right? And I could have sworn we are supposed to be following what the forefathers had put in the constitutional content, right? The 10 Amendments. Are we not following that? Or did we literally abolish the amendments so that we can create whatever we want to create? Because at this point, how it sounds is starting to be exactly that. Okay? There is no roundabout. There is no hiding it. There's not going around the bush. We just need to speak it how it is. And that's how it is. Okay? They are literally trying to push this weird one rule agenda on everyone, whether you like it or not. I feel like the plan that was discussed years ago, I remember there was I don't know what it was, but there was a conversation being flown out years ago. I think I was either in CVS at that time. So I was like early motherfucking 20s, baby. I was like 20, probably 19, 20, around those ages, where I heard this conversation where United States wants the entire world to be Christian, and they want everyone to go to church on Sundays, right? So that means it don't matter what you are, what your religion, what you think you believe in, but everything is going to be shut the motherfucking down on Sunday, and you better be in church. Okay? Now, I am confused how that's going to work, because if I know any better, the two groups that are running United States is Jewish people, Jewish white people, and conservative Republican that claims to be Christian, right? Now, my thing is, why are they so eager to push Christianity on people when, if we're following the Bible and we're following what Jesus did, God never pushed anything. Jesus ain't never pushed anything on no one. Jesus ain't, God never tried to control us. This is why God gave us free will. So I'm kind of confused on why these people feel it to be needed to revert everything back to the 1880s, the 1800s, and further down. Like, what is it that you guys are scared of? That y'all feel like, okay, bitch, if we don't literally take control of the United States, we are going to be wiped out. We are not going to have this and that, and etc. Like, you're really trying to bring bloodshed onto this earth all over again, when we literally stopped the bloodshed hundreds of years ago. So you know what, people? Let me know down below what y'all think of this Project 2025. I will continue to share my thoughts the more I get deep into learning about Project 25, as we basically have 5 more months until we kind of figure out who the fuck gonna be in office, and are they going to implement this? Are they really going to pass this booklet to presidents? And is the courts going to allow them to do so and bypass the amendments rights that each American have? Yeah, I think I'm going to continue to talk about this. So you guys, once again, leave your comment down below, and let's seriously have a real deep dive conversation about our future here in the United States. Fuck all this celebrity gossip and etc. etc. We really need to talk. For reals. All right. I see you guys next time.
Hey babes, thanks for tuning in and listening to this episode. Like, share, and follow our podcast if you really enjoyed today's topic, because there's so much more to come, and I don't think you want to miss out. Okay, I didn't think so. Well, babes, see you later on the next episode. Bye.